It's compact, dirty, and down for anything. This ain't your ex-girlfriend we're talking about, folks. This is a truck that you all know very well. The pickup that made Toyota king of utility. And it's the one that, even though it's gone through some major changes recently, will live on forever. This is the Toyota Tacoma, and this is everything that you need to know about the death of a legend. Let's go.
And guys, real quick, do you love supercars, epic road trips, and exclusive automotive perks? Well, then you are going to love the Ideal Collective. For a limited time, you can sign up for free, yes, free, and secure a spot to get entered into our first Ideal Card giveaway. Hurry up, pinned in the first comment is your link. Click it, and then, well, get signed up. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Tacoma. What better way to kick this off than with the bigger, more muscular, and cyberpunkin' looking brand new 4th gen Taco. This one is so damn good, it topped Car and Driver's list of midsize pickups, and it's barely even touched dealers' lots. And guess who got second? The hybrid version of the same truck. And let's be honest, there's not a fiber in my shredded and toned body that's surprised.
What?
Toyota just does everything so well, it almost makes you angry. But just what makes this new 4th gen so freaking saucy? For starters, it sits on an updated body and frame platform that's shared with the Tundra, which means more of everything. More modern features, updated powertrains, tech upgrades, and truly astronomical number of trim levels, or as Toyota calls them, grades. Okay, bear with me for 1 second. From lowest to highest, we have the SR, SR5, TRD Prerunner, TRD Sport, the TRD Off-Road, Limited, Trailhunter, and finally the TRD Pro. Good Lord, where do I even start? Well, luckily Toyota made it easy on me today because the Tacoma uses the exact same engines in every single trim level. Behold, the 2.4-liter 4-cylinder turbocharged I-Force, the Taco's new beating heart. Its 228 horsepower output only comes in the bottom of the barrel SR trim and goes way up from there. The SR5, TRD Sport, TRD Off-Road, and TRD Prerunner trims all get a 50 horsepower boost up to 278 horsepower. And finally, the big boys Trailhunter, Limited, and TRD Pro all pack a punch with a 326 horsepower I-Force Max engine, which features a hybrid battery as well. Yes, boomers, this truck has a hybrid option. But one thing all these babies share is the option for 4-wheel drive, because of course they do.
I put that on everything.
I mean, that's the stuff that'll take this Tacoma literally anywhere you could possibly think of. Toyota Tacoma, the mountain goat of trucks. Hire me for marketing, Toyota. You'll thank me later. The new Tacoma comes with 2 suspension options dependent on trim, leaf springs or coil springs. Both, well, they ride well, but the coils are really the choice for the on-road comfort. But this thing makes its best moves off-road, and you will be set the up with the 4th gen Taco. On trim levels like the TRD Pro, TRD Off-Road, and Trailhunter, you can get 33-inch tires for the first time ever on a Tacoma, as well as an optional sway bar disconnect for extra clearance, a bed-mounted air pump, and a bunch of other off-roading goodies. And oh, there's one thing that I forgot to talk about. Yeah, you can get a manual transmission. Save the manual, snag our limited edition tee up here, and it will be in the pinned first comment below. It's our best-selling tee, and you can save the manuals yourself by picking one up before they're gone. An 8-speed auto does come standard, but Toyota making the decision to give the 2024 truck buyer a manual option shows just how well they know their customer base, and I am all about it. You know what else I'm talking about? This new interior. Sheesh! With the 8 or 12-inch infotainment screen, heated and cooled seats, and completely new futuristic design, this thing is cool as hell. It's tech forward, just like the Cybertruck's interior, but, you know, actually functional and good to look at. And fun fact for you, the TRD Pro trim gets you what Toyota calls isodynamic front seats, which use a suspension system to stabilize your seat over a big bump in real time. Just like Granddad's Lazy Boy. Miss you, Poppy. And though this next Tacoma isn't technically a production vehicle, it brings the 4th gen Tacoma full circle, the 2024 Tacoma X-Runner concept. This thing was released in 2023 as a modern version of the iconic stancified X-Runner trim from the older generations. This concept received a bunch of mega upgrades, like a 421 horsepower twin-turbo V6 from the Tundra, a beefy solid axle, also from the Tundra, rear-wheel drive, and of course, an epic body-colored cosmetic package that makes this thing look like a true custom. Overall, this newest gen Tacoma could be the best one ever. It comes in 8 different trims, with both extended and crew cab body styles, and with 2 powerful powertrain options as well. Well, it makes you wonder, how is the 4th gen Tacoma so refined and well thought out? Well, maybe there's a little bit of history behind that.
In the 1970s, Toyota was on something of an international tour. They'd started debuting several of their models in markets outside of Japan, namely in the US. And one of those models was, hold on to your hats, JDM fanboys, the Hilux. It was a small pickup truck with an even smaller engine, but it saved on gas and got the job done for people who wanted efficiency and reliability, but needed a utility vehicle every so often. Plus, it's so cute. I mean, look at the little... The Hilux proved to be a subtle hit in the States, where it was imaginatively named the Toyota pickup. But the real kicker that put Toyota's utility vehicles on the map was the 4Runner. Debuting in 1984 for the US, the 4Runner sat on the pickup's chassis and acted as the gateway drug for more Americans to pay more attention and eventually fall in love with the 4Runner's more utilitarian sibling, aka the pickup. In fact, none other than Marty McFly drove a mid-80s all-black SR5 pickup in the frickin' smash hit Back to the Future. His had some sweet auxiliary lights, a roll bar, a 5-speed manual, and a beefy front bumper, and it made American truck buyers see just how cool a Toyota pickup could be. Both trucks were refreshed and beefed up over the following few years, including a major update in 1989 where the pickup received a savage 150 horsepower V6 option, a cosmetic upgrade, and some comfort improvements as well. But after that, Toyota's truck department seemed to fall a little quiet from the outside. No real updates were made to the pickup for around 4 or 5 years, and Toyota loyalists were left confused. But there was a reason for that. Toyota had 2 brand new trucks brewing. First, the T100. This was a response to the literally and figuratively enormous US truck market. It was bigger, had some more power, and gave the big 3 truck makers something to think about in terms of price and gas mileage while they chugged along with their outdated V8s. The second behind-the-scenes project was led by a man named Kevin Hunter, a designer who was hired by Toyota to reintroduce the compact pickup that everyone knew and loved. But this time, the truck was to be designed specifically for North America. It was a big ask that included competing with American staples like the Ford Ranger. But Kevin's last name wasn't Hunter for no reason. He was out to show the truck market that he had the grand vision to build something so good that they couldn't possibly ignore it. And what came in 1995 was what Toyota has literally referred to as the Big Bang.
All started with a big bang.
Bing bang, boom. The Tacoma is on sale in the 1995 model year, and it is a stunner. I mean, just look at this thing. The proportions, they're perfect. It's rounded in all the right places, and just aggressive enough to compete in the wild, wild west of the United States.
The Wild Wild West. When I roll into the Wild Wild West.
It came out of the gate swinging with 2 engine options, a 142 horsepower 2.4 liter 4-banger or a bigger 150 horsepower 2.7. And soon after that, the 3.4 liter V6 that you've probably heard straight piped if you live in a rural area came gunning out of the gates with 185 horses. In the first few years, things were kind of slow going. You could either get a base model or the upper scale SR5, which gave you some extra interior features and alloy wheels among other things. This little pocket-sized dirt devil was instantly being bought up and used in every single way possible. It was being abusively off-roaded by angsty teenagers, driven to work by their dads and hauling heavy loads to and from the house with ease every weekend. It was also good on gas, so you could take everyone on a road trip without spending half your paycheck at the pump. It came in different configurations as well, with both an extended cab and crew cab variant, 2-wheel and 4-wheel drive options, as well as a 4-speed auto or a 5-speed manual transmission. And fun fact, to tell a 2-wheel drive Tacoma from a 4-wheel drive, all you gotta do is count the lug nuts. 5 for 2-wheel drive and 6 for the 4-wheel drive one. But anyways, screw a Honda Civic. This was the ultimate daily driving fun as hell vehicle that could take you far beyond the constraints of pavement and guardrails. And for 1 year, in 1997, you could get a 254 horsepower supercharged version of the V6 in your taco. I guess they were doing their best American impression, and it was awesome. In 1998, the Tacoma saw its first major update with the addition of the Prerunner. It gave customers a 190 horsepower V6, standard two-wheel drive, and raised suspension. And if you were really badass back in the day, you could opt for the Prerunner TRD Off-Road package. That got you four-wheel drive and bigger, more attack-ready off-road tires. And in 2001, Toyota was ready to send the first gen into the history books with one more hurrah. With the 2001 model year came a huge facelift with updated trim, headlights, grills, and all that jazz. It also saw the introduction of the double cab body that had proper four-door legroom, for once, a slightly smaller bed, and offered a more family-friendly experience. But the thing that I really want to tell you about, come here, is this, the Tacoma S-Runner. It had a monochromatic paint scheme, the big V6 with a manual transmission, and some 16-inch alloy wheels paired with Tokiko shocks that made this thing look like a street machine. It was badass, looked great, and had some decent performance chops for a literal utility truck. If you have one, I will buy it, no questions asked, with direct wiring of funds. The Tacoma coasted for 3 more years after the facelift until 2005, when Toyota was primed and ready to announce the sophomore generation of their popular new truck. And by popular, think of the most popular person in your high school. I mean, it sold better and better every single year it was on sale at this point. And it was hot on the heels of the king of the small pickup, the Ford Ranger, the Danger Ranger. After a cheeky internal competition at Toyota that would decide the internal design for the next-gen Tacoma, they had landed on Shigeya Hattori and Hideo Karikoma's drawings. This also meant that the rest of the development process would go down in Japan, baby. And when the truck was done, it was revealed at the 2004 Chicago Auto Show. And it was, in a word, brolic. Though it was still considered a small pickup, this thing grew a whole size class, and it looked like it was doing some CrossFit or something, because it was toned, just like your boy. Did that work? Bulging fenders, sleek lines, and go-anywhere attitude made this a proper succession to the iconic first-gen pickup. And as far as the oily bits go, they went just as hard, introducing a brand new standard 2.7-liter 4, now with 159 horsepower, and a brand new 4-liter V6 that made a bangin' 236. You could get either a 4-speed auto or 5-speed manual gearbox with the 4-cylinder, and either a 5-speed auto or 6-speed manual with the V6. You could also have 2- and 4-wheel drive, as well as 3 different cab options. So many choices, but wait, there's more! The folks at Toyota didn't forget about the hardcore customers who live in the trails and bogs. So they offered the TRD Sport and TRD Off-Road trim packages that came with cosmetic upgrades, heftier wheels, tires, and shocks, and of course, 4-wheel drive, brother. And yet again, it's time for the best one, the true heir to the S-Runner throne, the all-new X-Drive Home Slice. This was the same formula as the S-Runner, but even better. Lowered suspension, color matched bumpers and trim, bigger wheels, the big engine and the new 6-speed manual transmission, paired with a limited slip differential, and get this, handling that they benchmarked against the Nissan 350Z. This thing could pull 9 Gs on the skid pad. And if all that wasn't enough, well, TRD sold a supercharger kit for the 4-liter V6s that could be installed by the dealer. That would bring power up to 304 horses and 334 foot-pounds of twist. It was Toyota's take on a muscle truck. And I'm stating once again, if you have one, I will purchase it and I will finally be happy. In 2009, the second-gen Tacoma received a subtle facelift along with the addition of a new electrified diff for all 4-wheel drive models to replace the old mechanical lockers. And in 2012, Toyota refreshed the Tacoma again with new bumpers, lights, and trim, as well as a brand new state-of-the-art infotainment system that came with, wait for it, satellite freaking radio, baby. What, are we living in the year 3000 or something? This is the generation that put the Tacoma over the top of the Ford Ranger in relative sales and crowned itself as not only the king of midsize trucks, but established the model as a true staple of Toyota's lineup for decades to come. Now, if the second gen truck crowned itself king of midsize trucks, the third gen crowned itself supreme leader of truck freaking universe. Because for 4 straight years during the third gen's 8-year production run, it sold almost 250,000 units every single year. The Tacoma, it was killing it, and it was because this truck was the best they had ever created. Once again, the Tacoma came out of the gates with near-perfect design proportions and styling that put it years into the future. New for the 2016 model year was a strengthened frame, all new axles, differentials, and suspension components to bring its capability over 9,000. I gotta say, as much as I love old Tacomas, this might be the best looking when it is in top trim. The boxy look calls back to the old Hilux days, and its angular Stormtrooper design elements make this pickup look ready to take on practically anything. The 2.7-liter 4-cylinder stuck around, and the new 3.5-liter V6 could be optioned with 278 horsepower. You could get a manual or automatic transmission, and both had 6 speeds. The third-gen Taco is the one where we started to see Toyota's love for a million different trim packages. For this Tacoma, you could have the SR, SR5, TRD Sport, TRD Off-Road, TRD Pro, and the newly added limited trim package, which was the first Tacoma ever to have full leather upholstery. Fancy. As for the TRD versions, this Tacoma brought the juice with bigger tires, upgraded suspension, TRD skid plates, a self-regulating and adjusting crawl mode, some slick cosmetic goodies. But this Tacoma wasn't all play, it also focused on everyday driving. Weather stripping upgrades and soundproof interior parts were installed to make it more versatile than ever, to make sure that you didn't get any pesky wind noise inside your pristine cab of solitude. In 2021, just a few years before the third gen would go out of production, Toyota would introduce the Trail Edition that added lockable storage and super rugged camping amenities like the ability to charge your iPhone in the bed of your truck. Okay, whatever. It was a cool send-off to the most successful Tacoma ever. Maybe out of production, but it's never out of style. And with that, we're back to the 4th generation Tacoma, folks. As you know from before, this one took the 3rd generation swag, performance, and versatility to the 17th freaking dimension. I mean, everything is bigger and better. It continues a nearly 30-year-long nameplate that has been the face of dependability and the happy medium between big trucks and compact cars. But while this 4th gen Tacoma is a continuation, it represents what we see as the beginning of the end. The Tacoma used to be this small, fun-loving, go-anywhere truck that would save your wallet at the dealership and the pump. And the new one may still be some of those things, but the cultural icon that it once was seems to be fading a bit. This was the truck that you and your buddies hopped into and went straight to the woods with some cheap cigarettes and not enough tools to fix what you would break on the trail. It formed a community of truck guys and car guys alike who loved getting a performance bargain that they could work on and make their own every single weekend. And don't get me wrong, I mean, I would own a new Tacoma, but the charm of the adolescent years is waning with the introduction of hybrid powertrains, overcomplicated electronics, and skyrocketing sales prices with ADMs. Ugh. We love this truck at Ideal, no matter what generation or year, and you'll certainly see all flavors of this thing on the road and on the trails for decades and decades to come. But I think it's clear that the Tacoma will never be the same. It may be the best version yet, but there's a part of us that longs for the classic, simple, and affordable Tacoma DNA. I guess that's the way the world turns though, right? I mean, the upside here is that if you really want an old Tacoma, well, it's not like there aren't any used ones out there for you. They sold millions of them, and seeing as they're Toyotas, the majority of them are still on the road. Just don't expect to get too much of a discount on one because these things hold their value like no other vehicle on the planet. Enjoyed this video and the Death of a Legend series? Well, like, subscribe, turn on that notification bell. And what do you guys think of the new Taco? And which generation of Tacoma is your favorite of all time? Let us know in the comments below, and we're doing these videos every single week. My name's Brad, the Financial Cowboy. This is Ideal. Go check out some of our other Ideal content over here, and we'll see you next week. Oh, and promise me one thing. Keep living the Ideal lifestyle.